Welcome back to the Big Sunday Show. So thanks to Elon Musk's Twitter files, we now know how much Twitter and the FBI worked together. Well, there were more than 150 emails exchanged between the FBI and the former trust and safety head for Twitter between January of 2020 and November of 2022. And at one point, the FBI's social media specializing task force, which was, by the way, created after the 2016 election, that expanded to about 80 different agents, really primarily hunting down election meddling. Now, the incoming House Intel Committee chairman says the FBI has more evidence of communications with Twitter and other mainstream media.
It is my understanding from our contacts that we've had with the FBI that there are secret files that the FBI has of these contacts that they were having with social media and with mainstream media. And it has been our objective to get a hold of those files, to see the extent of this so we can stop it. This is a campaign by the FBI that really is outside of the bounds of anything we would expect them to do, and certainly, very constitutionally troubling.
The New York Post also finding that the FBI's influence on Twitter was much more significant than former General Counsel James Baker. More than a dozen former FBI agents and executives were reportedly among the top ranks at Twitter before Elon Musk ever took over. And the left now panicking that it could lose control over social media. 3 Democrat congressmen and women and a senator wrote a letter to Meta demanding Facebook, quote, recommit to censoring opposing views or face the consequences. Wow. Okay, so I actually want to start with you, Raymond, because let's lean into that a little bit. I want to pull up really quickly Jonathan Turley's new Fox News op-ed. If we could just read it really quickly, it's interesting. The headline is, "Censor or Else, Democratic Lawmakers Warn Facebook Not to Backslide on Censorship." Raymond, what do you make of this?
Well, Adam Schiff is part of this. He's the leader of this movement among Democrats to try to convince other social media companies, as Twitter is under surveillance now by the Republicans. He wants them to keep these safeguards in place. He calls them safeguards. This is actually a protocol that like-minded ideologues created, and now they want to keep in place. Schiff is saying you've got to protect against disinformation. This is from the person who brought you the Russian collusion hoax, that Hunter's laptop came from Russia and was not credible. These people master in misinformation and distorting information. And that really runs to the point. No political party, not the conservatives and Republicans, nor liberals and Democrats, should control information flow. Our guarantee in America, our backstop is an informed populace. When you distort the information they're getting, you're distorting the outcome. We must guard against that. It is the last frontier. It's what the founders put in place, that information had to be free. And it's why they enshrined it in the Constitution. This defames it and undermines that constitutional protection.
Yeah, it's definitely raising eyebrows. Lisa, you had an interesting conversation recently with James Comer. So what was some of the insight that you got?
Well, real quick before I get to that, I was thinking about this today. So remember, all we heard was Russia, Russia, Russia. Russia stole the 2016 election, yada, yada, yada. And then what it really just turned out to be a manufactured hit job. And then now what we're learning is a pretext to spy on Americans and then to try to rig the 2020 election. But yeah, so I talked to James Comer and I asked him, because obviously with Merrick Garland, they're going to meet resistance at the DOJ, and the FBI is probably not going to play ball as they issue subpoenas. And so I asked him about that, and he said that their focus is really going to be looking at private businesses, private sector people. They think they're going to have more success there in trying to get information because, they're not going to get the same assist that the January 6th committee has gotten with, Steve Bannon looking at 4 months in jail for contempt of Congress charges. So he said they're going to be looking at private sector. So I would assume that, Facebook, Twitter, all these guys are going to be on the receiving end of some subpoenas.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Republicans are going to head in, obviously, with the majority, and they're going to dig. Who do you think is going to listen? Do you think people are going to listen to what they uncover?
You get used to what you hear, even if you don't like it. And you just assume that's how things are. If I said any congressman out there has a scandal, most Americans will say, yeah, that's about what we expect. And so I worry, I think Republicans really need to plan and really have a strategy and understand what they're going to investigate and why and what they can get out of it to either sway the vote or show the American people why it's important to push back on these things. I don't know you can investigate this because the FBI can just sit there and say, they did this under the guise of national security, election integrity. They can use the buzzwords. We all got sold on the Patriot Act at one point in our lives. This idea that this is not partisan in any way. It's all there to make sure Russia and China aren't colluding. And then it's left on the Republicans to find specific emails,
right,
specific actions, specific documented conversations, or we saw even in the Trump impeachment, even if somebody turns on you, you don't know that they're even telling the truth. And so the opportunity to spin for the Democrats is there just as much as the Republicans, and I want them to go places they can have an effect and change in how things are done, and rather than galvanize,
but that's
the deep state with the Democrats against us.
But that's my question, what will this get done? At the end of the day, when you hold these hearings and you make the headlines, what changes?
Well, hopefully it raises American awareness of the fact that their information has been controlled. It's not only owning the oil, it's controlling the pipe. Yeah. That's really what's at play here. And I think when you find out that the FBI and state governments used a backdoor complaint desk at Twitter called Teleporter to snitch on people they didn't like, ideologues they didn't like, people coming from the conservative side, and jokes made on Twitter, that became the marching orders for Twitter to censor content. And what it opened the door to is it's not just Twitter. It's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's all of these social media platforms. And so now you have a political war going on. The Republicans saying we need to liberate these platforms, let free speech reign. The Democrats saying, no, we put these protocols in place, and damn it, you're going to keep them there. We'll see who wins, but that's the political struggle. That's the stakes. Up to the American people now.
Can I just say, I thought Twitter was going to disappear like 5 years ago. So, I thought it was going to disappear and nobody cared about it anymore.
Why did former FBI lawyer James Baker go to the Twitter 5 months before the 2020 election and then proceeded to censor the Hunter Biden story?
Lots of questions, yes. Okay, thanks, guys.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.